Genesis 22. God tested Abraham. He called out, Abraham, Abraham. Oh, here I am. And God said, I want you to take your son, your only son, Isaac, the son that you love. I want you to take him to the land of Moriah, and there I will point out the place where I want you to sacrifice him as a burnt offering to me. Oh. And so, early the next morning, Abraham arose. He gathered the wood that he would need for the fire, and he placed it upon the donkey. He gathered the other things that he would need, and then Abraham, Isaac, and 2 servants began their journey to the land of Moriah. They had traveled for 3 days, and then in the distance, Abraham saw the place that God had pointed out. He turned to the servants and he said, you stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go ahead. We'll worship God, and then we will return. And Abraham, he took the wood from the donkey and placed it on Isaac's shoulders. And Abraham himself carried the fire and the knife. They began their trek up the mountain, and they hadn't gone too far when Isaac called out, Father, here I am. Father, we have the wood, we have the fire, but where's the lamb for the sacrifice? And Abraham said, the Lord himself will provide the lamb. And they continued their journey up the mountain. When they reached the top of the mountain, Abraham began to gather stones and he built an altar. He took the wood that Isaac had carried and he placed it upon the altar. And then he took his son. He bound his hands. He bound his feet. And he placed him upon the altar. And then Abraham, taking the knife in hand, was ready to sacrifice his son. When the angel of the Lord called out to Abraham, Abraham, here I am. Abraham, don't hurt the boy. Don't do anything to him. You have proven your fear of the Lord. Abraham looked up, and there, in some shrubs, he saw a ram, and its horns were tangled in the twigs and the vines. He went over and got that ram and placed it upon the altar and sacrificed it to God. And then he named that place, the Lord will provide. The angel of the Lord spoke once more to Abraham and said, I promise to you, because you have shown your willingness to do this thing, you have shown your fear of the Lord, I promise you that you will have more descendants than there are stars in the heavens or sand along the shore. Your descendants will have their enemy's gate, and it is through your descendants that all people on earth will gather blessings because you listened to my voice. Abraham and Isaac came down from the mountain. They joined the 2 servants, and they began their journey back to Beersheba.